Man's Guide to episode 5 now. We're going to do the same thing we've been doing since it's been working. We're going to let y'all take it, and we'll decide on whatever we're going to name it after the fact. Rios, of course, we know each other from Germany. Pointing some boys, been down. Adam, I know you know Will. I don't know you, Rios don't know you, but we don't give a shit because we're all men here, and we're all going to try to help each other out. I know you got a studio session that you told me you got to go to in a little bit. So what I want to do is I want to let you kind of introduce yourself. We don't do last names if you don't want to, and just kind of let yourself just tell us your story, what you went through with the court and all that, as far as if you were married, how many kids, all that stuff, everything you had to battle with. And then Rios will bring you back, and you can jump in at any point. That's kind of what we do, just questions, whatever you got. And then we'll bring you in and let you tell your story. And I know you're starting all this, so we're going to see what the three of us can do to help guide you so you don't have to go through anything fucked up like any of the rest of us might have had to. So, I'm going
to jump in real quick. This will. So, additional format is I met Adam about 3 years ago through a homie, Hanif. And Adam, from day, I told him about my situation, and he had been through the trench, and he gave me a lot of advice, and I was in outer space. And Adam knew what outer space was. He's been to this galaxy. And so Adam's been through it. Eric, you've been through it. I've been through it. And Rios, we're here. You're getting ready to go through it. So with the information Adam's about to drop, the story, hopefully through reflection, we can transition and give you some good pointers for your situation.
All right. Yeah, I kind of before you get started, Adam, I do always like to do reviews. We had great reviews from episode 3. This is actually our 3rd one this week, which it was completely unexpected, but episode 3, everybody loved it, had a good laugh. Episode 4, everybody's listening to right now. Rios was actually listening to it when I called him. So everybody on here, share it once we share it to you. Get on. We got the group page now on Facebook. So subscribe to the channel, share it, get everybody else you can to join on it because we're here to help guys, period. That's our main goal with this podcast. So we've had nothing but good reviews. Nobody's really negative about anything. So I just like to throw those out every chance at the beginning. But like I said, on that note, let's just jump into it because I know you got shit to do. But go ahead, Adam. Let us know the situation, what you went through, and then we'll keep going from there.
All right. Well, shoot. Not even sure where to start. My story is a long one, and all one. My son was born in March of 2008, and let me see. Well, I was 19 when my boy was born, and so young and fresh and scared of everything. I got taken advantage of real early. I know where my heart was, when my boy was born, so I can honestly and clearly say that that I was a victim, especially after looking back at, after my boy's 9 now, so gonna be 10 in March, and after going through a lot of the crap that I went through, it's okay to say that now. And for a long time, I ran away from it. I didn't want to call myself a victim. I didn't want to seem like I was weak or just something was out of my control, but it was, and I was way in over my head for a long time. But you don't have to be, and I learned that you can choose to get the knowledge, get the information, get proactive about the situation. And so I'm not even sure what specific.
Let me jump in and ask you real fast.
Yeah, let's hear it.
You said you were 19 when he was born, right?
Yeah.
So you were still trying to figure out just what becoming a man was. And you got this thrown on you that not only are you trying to figure out what being a man is, you got to be a dad now too. I'm curious though, the woman, was she same age? Was she younger? Was she older?
I'm like, okay, well, yeah. In fact, now that I think about it, my story is a lot more interesting than I give it credit. I've got
Most of them are, yeah.
yeah, well, shoot, man. No, I got like kicked out of the house and disowned by both my parents when I was 18. So,
Okay.
this was like summer of 2007, and I graduated in 2007 from high school. So here I am. All I got to me is some clothes in my truck, and I was living out of my truck for about a month or so before I moved down to Tallahassee, went to college at Florida State. So I'm working like dumb hours. I'm going to school full time, working dumb hours. My girlfriend's pregnant, and we staying at this 1-bedroom apartment. She's not working. She's going to school, and it's crazy. It's just us against the world pretty much at that point. And so I was our only transportation. I had the truck, and she didn't have anything. And so she got kicked out of her mom's house right before we found out she was pregnant. So it was a bunch of craziness going on. You know, we were alone. And we were the same age. We both graduated from the same high school, middle school sweethearts. Like I knew this girl from elementary school.
Okay.
And so it has a fairy tale beginning, but a freaking, horror story middle right now is where we are. It's nowhere near the end. But it's just, we started off wide-eyed and in love with each other. At least we thought we were in love. And unfortunately, her mom had a history of abuse. Her grandma also was very abusive, and they beat into her a lot of hatred for herself and me in general. And so she took that junk out. When my boy was born, she was immediately poisoned in the mind by her mom to basically make all of us a statistic. The mom hadn't been married in a long time, and she'd been alone and miserable and basically wanted that same thing for her daughter. And got it by manipulating a lot of crap, a lot of situations. And so when I was, what was this? I was still 19. No. I was about to be 20. I was still 19, about to be 20. I get hit with child support papers and everything, and here I am, still just on the edge of adulthood, not even really there yet. I got scared.
Living with her at the time?
Nah. We had broken up. In fact, it was so crazy. She actually broke up with me. Say, oh, we're done. Da 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 da. What was this? This had to be like. It was a couple months before my son was born. Actually, she was still pregnant, and wound up moving out of our 1-bed apartment to another apartment in the same complex. And then when the baby was born, she was when my son Isaiah was born, she was trying to go back and forth between my place and her place. There's a whole bunch of craziness with that. But yeah, it was dramatic. It was completely unnecessarily dramatic, man. And I went through all the stress that I'm sure you guys are familiar with. All the stress of lack of appetite. You're not eating. You're stressed out, headaches out of nowhere, migraines for days. Just intense stress, man. Because now I have my boy, but I don't have my boy, and it's just nerve wracking. And so of course,
you have him, but you don't have him. What do you mean?
Like I have him, but it's contingent upon her whims and her mood, basically. Because
you don't have an actual these days and these times.
Not at this
You're
time.
kind of like whenever she lets you see him.
Yeah, that was there. The court. The civil order and everything came years later. Like when he was just born, it was just me naked out there, and I didn't know anything.
All right, so you're just bringing us through that part. Okay.
Yeah. So fast forward though, my boy is what, 4 now, so, and she hit hard times in Tallahassee. She graduated school. I actually moved back home and everything because I flunked out of school because I was working full time. Never went to class, and flunked out of Florida State. So wasted wasted, I don't even know how many thousands of dollars in student loans and all that. They still calling me. It's all good, though. I never answer. But so we got that going on, and so she calls me up one day. She's like, "Hey, this is April of 2012. I remember. I need you to keep Isaiah for a week." Okay, cool. I keep my boy. She gets into some craziness with her family down in Tallahassee. So now she doesn't have a place to stay because she was dependent on them for money. She comes and lives with me in my one-bed apartment in Albany for months. And she's pregnant with some other dude's child. I mean, I forgot this whole element, too. This is my boy's 4 now. So, yeah, she's pregnant with some other dude's child. She comes lives with me. And we're trying to cohabitate, but she's bringing up old stuff. She gives birth to this new child, and still living with me, months. The mom gets some money, they move out. She hits me again with child support papers. We got it worked out so where okay, I'm seeing my boy and I'm taking care of him. We had a verbal agreement, and I thought was solid, but got taken advantage of as soon as she didn't need help anymore, need any support from me anymore. So that's when, after that, 2013, I spent the entire year in court. Finally got my court order, my civil order at the end of 2013, right after Thanksgiving. So I saw my boy for Christmas, saw my boy for Thanksgiving. And then after that,
Adam, real quick, Adam, I want to ask you real quick. Sorry, man. During 2013, when you were in and out of court, what was your MO? What were your expectations in court? Did you have legal counsel? Did you do it yourself? How was it chopped out? Did it chop out in your favor? Give us some details about that.
All right, yeah, great question. So 2013 was definitely my intro into how screwed up the court system is when it comes to fathers and everything. All right. Basically, I have this court date. I show up, and I have, as best as I could scrounge up, receipts and different other things that I could find, just because I'd heard different talk from when my dad was going through the divorce when I was 11. My mom and dad got divorced when I was 11. So I remembered a little bit. So I'm trying to scrounge up receipts. I'm trying to present to court. So I get there, completely blindsided. She has a lawyer. She has an entire story worked out. Basically worked to try and paint me in the courtroom as this horrible, abusive guy who just who had no interest in the health or the happiness of my son.
So Adam the villain, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I have to don't know you, but damn, you're fucking so close. It's.
I know it. I know it.
I'm sitting here like, fuck, that's what she did to me. Fuck, she did that to me too.
You didn't know she had a lawyer before you went to court?
I didn't know. The court order came from the court. It didn't come from a law office.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't know. So I come into the courtroom thinking it's just going to be me and her sitting in front of a judge, but nah, it's me, her, plus one, and this lady here, a white lady and white judge, 2 black 20-something-year-olds, in the courtroom. It's just like I was completely overwhelmed.
In the South, on top of it, in the South, where we are at, Georgia, in the state of Georgia.
South, yeah.
Man, it was bad. So my pits get sweaty, and I'm sitting there listening to this crazy manipulation and spin of details that had to be about 3-4 years old at this point. And so it was craziness. The only thing that saved me, and I don't know if it was just grace or the judge just had seen so much of it already, but he from the jump, he seemed like he was against me. He was asking questions about me and my employment and different things like that about me. And I thought, okay, maybe he's attacking me. But then when they started to attack me, he rebutted with, okay, well, where's where's a criminal report? Where's if he put his hands on you or the son, where's a doctor's report? Or where's, that type of thing. She didn't have any of that because there was never any need for it, so the things that they were actually trying to say and to manipulate in the courtroom, he actually shot down, and that was a blessing. But
salute to your judge for that.
Judge Goss, man. So I respect him. I appreciate that. He looked out, and so we were face to face in the courtroom. He basically stated, because I actually had to file paperwork for 2 different court proceedings that were basically happening at the same time. And the first one she was doing for child support, so I had to defend against that one, and I also had to appeal with a the legitimation. I had to appeal with the legitimation process so that I could get the rights to see my son. I'm learning all this as I go. Because apparently, I'm learning here in the state of Georgia, your name on a birth certificate, your name on anything doesn't mean anything. It doesn't give you any rights. And I'm learning all of this.
Except to pay child support, right?
Except to pay child support, exactly. And in fact, you don't even need anything. They can just say that this is your child.
It's so dirty.
And
no paternity test?
No, you have. Well, you can request a paternity test, but
they'll start it.
Child support on you.
They'll start garnishing your wages.
I bet if you request that that paternity test, I bet if you request that, then they turn around and look at you and say, "Well, you signed the birth certificate."
Of course they will.
Exactly.
Of course they will.
All right.
You say, "Oh yeah," like what I found out is when you if anybody, with whatever female, whether you slept with her or not, puts you down as the parent and for child support reasons, they'll immediately do it. They'll immediately take whatever money and send you whatever thing. And it's up to you to file and file an appeal, get the paternity test, whatever. And there's a way to get out of it if you sign the birth certificate, but that's another whole long situation that I never read into because there's no doubt that this is my boy. He's a spitting image. It's ridiculous. But yeah, so but here I am. So yeah, fast forward back into the courtroom. So we're back in this courtroom. They're saying all this craziness. Judge Goss shot him down, and granted me a temporary visitation order. And while they, ironed out all the rest of the details in them, so by the end of that year, I got my civil order. Found out the beginning of 2014 that a civil order is completely unenforceable. It's something that the court says, okay, this, and you as a citizen have a choice whether or not to abide by it. I learned this the hard way because here I go now to go pick up my son on my visitation day, and she's refusing. This, mind you, was like the 3rd or 4th incident where she didn't let me see my boy on my visitation day. So we're months in of her refusal.
Did you contact somebody about that and let them know, like, she's not letting me see on my visitation day?
Yes. So I reached out. Well, first, mind you, now I don't have a lawyer still. I'm just out there. So I called the court, the courthouse, and they're saying, okay, well, there's nothing we can do unless the police get called or something like that.
So they need criminal charges.
Yeah, well, now this is what the court secretary told me. She wasn't wrong, but she wasn't completely clear. So what happened, the next incident, when police were actually called, I stayed out there, and I had my court order on me. I had my civil order in the car. So when they showed up to the house, when I was supposed to be getting my son, they read the civil order, they speak to me, they speak to her, and then they turn around to me and say, hey, well, unfortunately, this is a civil order. There's nothing we can do. You have to go back to court and file a contempt order, and the contempt order then will be enforceable by the courts through the police.
I thought telling if you were to tell the cops, like, look, like exactly what you did, that is contempt of court.
It
like
is. It is. In Washington,
it is, but it's not. And I've been where Adam's been because I had an incident where I went to pick up my daughter and her mom didn't show up. And so I showed them, hey, I have this from the court. It says she's supposed to station at this time to drop my daughter off. She's not here. So what can we do? And I was there. I was in the same situation. They told me straight up, we can't get involved. You need to go to the courthouse and find out what you need to file. And completely what he's talking about.
And hey, to jump in, and jurisdiction to jurisdiction is slightly different. And what Adam just said about the contempt, that's exactly what you have to file. You have to be there at that time. If they're not there, you have to record it somehow, whether that's calling the police to document it or having a witness. But you have to go immediately and file the contempt of the civil order. What does that do? Honestly, all it does is make them look, it's a knock against them in front of the court. But it's still really critical to do. It's not like ignore. Right. It's critical to do because now in front of the judicial eyes, the court's eyes, they're saying, wow, this person doesn't meet to drop off based on what I signed, the civil order. Wow, this person is just violating the statutes that you agreed upon. If you're not filing these contempt motions, it's so tedious. But if you're not doing it, then in front of the eyes of the court, where's your proof that this person violated? Where's the proof that she didn't bring your child to drop off? So, Adam, there you go. Take us back, man.
Oh, yeah. No, you're important points because I had texts, I had emails, and all of that to where, she admitted, and this is where it gets even crazier, because here she go with a lawyer. Because after the time when the police were called, I got a letter from a lawyer talking about, the mother, the custodial parent, has feared for Isaiah's health after the visitations began because he started wetting the bed and he hadn't been wetting the bed and he had been having behavioral problems, and so she had suspicions that he was being mistreated, and so she kept him from the visitations. Now, wow. I get this letter, and it basically is more allegations, basically saying that I'm harming my child, and that continues to seem like, for whatever reason, I'm a harm to myself. I get intimidated again. Immediately after that, I get the news that I was moving to D.C. And so in my head, all right, I'm going to make this money. I'm going to save up and get me a lawyer. And when I moved up there, I met Rod, and that was a whole nother chapter of my life. And so, but while I'm there, I'm still going through different things. I'm still having to deal with child support issues and stuff. I'm trying to deal with visitation now differently because I'm in a whole nother state. She wound up moving my son from Georgia back down to Tallahassee in Florida at the beginning of 2015. Lost complete track of them. She never responded to any phone calls, any texts, any nothing. And so I'm up there for a year and some change, and no word from my son, no contact at all. And when I get back down back to Georgia, I moved back down at the beginning of 2016. I immediately go to see my son. I found out where he was through a call from a lawyer, the lawyer of my son's, the other baby daddy. Basically,
shit.
It's easier to say that, yeah. So the lawyer from the other baby daddy hits me up. He's like, hey, in fact, no, scratch that, back up. The other baby daddy hit me up first. Other baby daddy says, hey, man, I got a court case going against blank, she done filed this against me.
Adam, I remember when you told me that, man. You said, yo, I gotta tell you.
Nah, right?
Yo, you were like, I gotta tell you, I gotta call.
About men helping men. Damn.
Hey, that sounds crazy.
It is.
It was crazy. I'm on the train leaving, heading back home, and I get this crazy call. So, so I'm listening to him, and he's telling me, oh, man, she's crazy, and I should listen to you, blah, 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 all this stuff. And I'm like, well, hey, my nigga, hey, we here now. We here, so let's help each other. So, he wound up sending me pictures of my boy, and he wound up sending me, you know, all different types of information to help me out. And so, in exchange, he asked for me to basically give a statement for him to his lawyer because he was being charged with some assault and battery stuff.
Same shit you were getting accused
Isn't
of,
that
right?
what she? Wait. Isn't that what she tried to do to you too?
Exactly. Well, it was different. She did claim that I put my hands on her, but that was like a small whatever. She was mainly saying that I was putting my hands on my boy, and she was saying that I was a harm to him. But this time, she's, you know, saying that he actually put his hands on her, and apparently it was in a bad situation because. And I also think, and I told this to Raheem. I said I think she learned from when Judge Goss shut her down in the courtroom and was like, well, where's your police reports? Where's your hospital records? Where's your this, your that? If you think that he's so harmful. And I think she used that. She learned from that and used that here now to try and take down this guy. So I'm looking at it like, man, this dude has been in the picture now for the past year and a half, 2 years, that I haven't been able to because you've been, you know, a a-hole, you know, so I'm going to look out. And so my thank you was testifying in court. And I guess I got the information, found out where my son was in school down in Tallahassee. It's some crazy espionage crap.
Briefly, if you want to cuss, Adam, feel free. We don't have to fucking edit ourselves on here, so you don't have to say hey-ho. You say asshole.
There we go. But, all right, so, yeah, man, crazy. I got down there, though. Well, shoot, I can talk about it. I slipped into the courtroom. Apparently, I wasn't supposed to. I slipped in the courtroom early and heard some of her testimony, my son's mom's testimony about how he basically, you know, hauled away and all this other crazy mess. But the only reason, and this is a real sidebar, the only reason I'm willing to halfway believe her is because when they first started like dating back in 11, 10 or whatever, she told me of an incident where he basically raised his hand up at her and almost and basically took a swing and missed or whatever.
Well, briefly, you know this woman, right?
I know her, yeah, and so I know she's also probably inflating some crap.
What I want to say is, like, I know my ex-wife, my kid's mom. I know how she is. She got physical. I've said before, I grew up with 5 sisters. I have the utmost respect for women. I will not put my hands on a woman, but every man has a point. And my ex-wife reached a point where it was, okay, I'm done taking your shit. Now you want to act like a man. I'm going to treat you like a man until you act like a woman again.
Especially when she takes out a knife. When she takes out a knife, it changes that dynamic.
No, that was after that. Yeah, she tried to kill my ass. Yes, that was the final straw when she tried to kill me. But what I'm wondering is, you know this woman.
Yeah.
And I mean, you don't necessarily know this man, but I'm just speculating, of course. But do you think that maybe she pushed him to a limit, or do you think he was just outright, first time, you're not going to try me, and fucked her up?
Oh, no. There's no doubt in my mind that she pushed him there. There's no doubt.
Okay.
Adam,
he didn't put her hands on me.
Adam, let me ask you this one, homie, real quick. So let's get to 20. What are we at now? 2015? Are we at 2014 or 2015? We're at 2015 at this point, right?
Yeah, we're back. We're 2016 now. We're 2016.
Okay,
now.
2016. So at this point in time, I'm talking about when you went into the courtroom. At this point in time, on paper, what do you have legally still? Just the civil order? What legally do you have? Do you have a civil order for custody and then the child support order? What is your current status when you're sitting in that courtroom helping old dude out? What is your status with your baby mom?
So at this point, still, I just got the civil order because immediately after the police were called, like I want to say the next day is when I got the news about going to D.C. So I didn't file the contempt order because I used all that money to move. So
no child support order.
Got the freaking D.C.
Did you have a child support order?
Oh no, the child support order that didn't move. That was still there. Yeah, I was still paying child support. And in fact, let me say real quick too, it was a point of I don't even know what to say, but it pissed me off for a long time about the child support until I realized, you know, whether or not she is using it for my son or using it for, you know, specific things for him, it's money and it represents time and it represents energy that is intended for my son. Let me say that. Yep. And so I you know, made my peace with the child support situation and not seeing my boy, because I had to realize at the end of the day, she's taking care of him. And I got to trust and believe that my son's alive. You know, she may not, I know she ain't saying good things about me. I know she's not doing right by him entirely.
See, I'm with you on the child support thing as far as, yes, okay, I should contribute. But if you're not even seeing him, that's where I have a problem.
Well,
I got a problem with it too. Hey, I got a problem with it too.
That money still helps take care of the child, though.
It's not that you're paying to see your kid. You're not paying to see your kid. You know what I mean?
If you're paying money, you should have rights to see your kid.
You should.
Man, look, no, you should have. You if it's your child and you do good by your child, you should have rights to see him whether you paying or not.
Period. Absolutely.
A lot more
absolutely.
from just you being there than
from what Will was telling me briefly when, like, because he just wanted to kind of give me like a quick summary, because he told me your story was in depth, and it's in depth, but from what he was telling me, you haven't seen your kids in a while.
I haven't seen him since the beginning of 2016. So, like, right before his birthday.
That's crazy, man.
So after these court proceedings,
that's crazy.
Yeah, it gets like 2016 went down. I'm like covering from 2016 right now. So like in fact, mind you, so this court proceedings with the other baby daddy, this was like right when I moved back. So I had to, and I found my son's school. I went and saw him at school. My boy's at the top of his class. He loves to read, you know, behind. And I'm getting caught up now the past, 2 years, because I've been in D.C. And so nervous when I just popped up to be expected. You know, it wasn't like it was, he was nervous. You know, he didn't know what to think, what to say. And but I got to spend that time. It was beautiful. It was short, but it was fantastic. And after that, immediately after, I get hit with a restraining order.
Oh,
a temporary, whatever. I forget the legal term for it, but basically a restraining order. The mom, okay, now let's back up. So I got the house address from the court documents and everything. And so I go to try and find my son because he wasn't in school on a weekday when he should have been. Come to find out, I go to the attendance office at the school. She done pulled him out of school. Every day we had a court date in Tallahassee because she knew I would be in town. And so got records of that. So I got the attendance records, I got his school record, I got all of this stuff. It showed that he had perfect attendance until the court date started coming up. So I go to the house. And her mom, the manipulator, is there at the house. So I pull up. I didn't know who was at the house. There were no cars in the yard. So I get out. I wrote a letter in the car, and I put it in the mailbox. She comes out the door screaming, yelling, cussing, all this foolishness. And she's like, I'm going to call the police and da-da-da-da-da-da. Which, in hindsight,
this is before the restraining order?
This is before. This is what led to it.
Okay.
So, so I just yell out to my boy, hey, I love you. I'm sorry this is happening. I'm going to see you again soon, blah, blah, blah. I drive off. The DA, the assistant DA, they didn't sound like freaking Hassy called me because he was who was representing them. It was the state of Florida versus the baby daddy. So, so the assistant DA calls and he's like, hey, the family is kind of worried and da-da-da-da-da. They fear for their safety. I'm like, my nigga, like, for what? I didn't threaten nobody. I didn't do da-da-da-da-da. So he starts asking me questions. I said, look, my guy, just if you're going to do something, do something. Otherwise, I'm going to go see my boy. Then I got hit with the restraining order.
But Adam, Adam, let me ask you this one. Let me ask you this one. At this point in time, when you're in Tallahassee, you still have a living, breathing civil order that says you get to see your son at X, Y, and Z times. Is that right?
That's correct.
So this whole time she's in violation. She's in violation or contempt this whole freaking time. She's in contempt because you're not seeing your son. Is that right?
That's correct. So
right.
and also too, I got that corroborated with another attorney friend, but he did say Georgia law and Florida law is different. Now, because the civil order was originated in Dougherty County in Georgia, that court has the jurisdiction on it.
Yep.
But because they live in Tallahassee, I got to file now in 2 states. So
What?
Because she's getting Florida benefits. She's getting Florida, whatever, cash assistance and Medicaid and da-da-da-da-da, because she's living in Florida. So now I got to file in both states because Dougherty County has a jurisdiction, but she's getting the stuff from Florida. So now it went from like $300 filing fee to like $500. And so it got to a point. Oh, in fact, yeah, my bad. Let's back up. So middle of 2016 now. So I get hit with a restraining order. The court date was like 2 weeks from there. I show up to that court date. She doesn't show up. Restraining order gets thrown out.
Yes.
So that was a win. That was a big W.
Victory.
So yes.
Been there
So
too.
I'm like, all right, cool. Now we finna move forward. Everything's gonna be straight. Blah blah blah. So I go back down to Tallahassee to my boy's school. She done moved him out of the school.
Oh man.
She's now also not answering phone calls or texts. So I'm like, all right, no doubt. I'm finna get the contempt order.
Does that other school have records of where he moved to? Don't they have to file with the school when he moves? They have to send the records to the new school, right?
They got to send the records. They wouldn't give me no information though. Because I wasn't on
if she was custodial parent, they don't have to tell him shit.
And she probably said this guy has a restraining order. He's been abusive and blah blah. That shit's Well, that's what she did.
Well, I brought back the new court order showing that the restraining order was thrown out.
Okay.
However,
awesome.
I needed to get because she was already the only parent on the whatchamacallit list. So it had to go through some other crap so that I could get on the parents list. It had to go back through the courts, basically. And so that was taking another, I don't even know how long, because at that point, she moved him to another school. So, so it was like, dang, I'm back at square zero. So I did have the home address. So I said, all right, well, no problem. I'm going to just save up and get this contempt order. 2 months later, I'm riding down 300. I was coming back from Atlanta, going back home down to Albany. I get pulled over. I'm like, why did I get pulled over? I wasn't speeding, nothing. Come to find out, Ross, when I freaking was in D.C., I turned my insurance off of my car because I wasn't driving it. It was down in Georgia. When I came back, apparently I didn't know that I had to turn in my physical tag to the Dougherty County Tax and Tag Office. Otherwise, it would count as a lapse on my insurance.
Damn.
So I get pulled over. I get pulled over for an expired registration on my tag. I'm like, dang. And the cop's like, this is an arrestable offense, so I could take you to jail, but, I'm just going to give you a warning, go get it fixed. It's like, well, just give me your license. I'm going to run your paperwork, blah, blah, blah. All right, cool. Give him my license.
You had a warrant.
10 minutes go by.
It's about to get better.
20 minutes go by.
No.
Yeah.
Warrant.
Yeah, he comes back. Sir, can I get you to step out of the car? Man, all right, nah. So I was like, I don't know what's going on, but something's going on. So I get out. My license was suspended back in 2015, like July of 2015, because of tapping. When I moved up there, my check every week. So this new job, I figured the same thing was happening. Like it was it was basically the same employer. So I'm thinking my check and everything, and all of my payment and stuff transferred over, out of sight, out of mind. Didn't know, and I had been paying since then. So long story short, I get arrested. took a freaking $1,200 hit. That, like I told you, I'm still recovering from 2016. I just finished paying off probation.
Briefly to interrupt you, anybody who listens to this, I want you to know, I'm white, Adam's black. We've gone through the same shit in the same system. The system does not give a fuck what color you are, especially when it comes to fucking kids. Same fucking thing happened to me. My ex-wife tried to kill me. I wound up in jail over a bullshit warrant that I didn't even know fucking existed. So I'm right here with you. This is fucking insane to me.
Nah, it's crazy. So I just got off the day probation, and moved to Atlanta. One big thing with me, the biggest thing I think that I've learned in this whole deal is it's not about me.
Mm-hmm.
And for the longest time, it was my whole thing was I gotta be in my son's life. I need my son, da. Like I done had relationships deteriorate because I don't have my son. Like, cause the female that I'm involved with, they know I have a son, but for whatever reason, he's not around. And so that didn't cause crap in relationships that I've tried to have. Like it's ridiculous. But so I didn't have to let the junk go because, well, I didn't have to. Let me rephrase that. It sounds like no. I've had to readjust how I'm approaching the situation because it continued on with the stress. I kept having these huge lapses of this appetite loss and hair loss and just all the different craziness going on, man. And as it stands here now, I know my son is very knowledgeable and aware of what's going on. He's
in the top of his class. Yeah.
Exactly. From the brief talk that we had, he understands that I'm trying, and he understands that right now I'm going against a whole lot of crap from a lot of different sides. But what matters to him, and what definitely matters to me, is that I'm here, and I ain't giving up.
Yeah.
And I think he knows that. And so,
well, I wanna be able to bring it. Yeah.
I know you said that the issue with you were looking at it as you're not in your son's life, or your son's not in your life, but more importantly than how it affects you, like it's affecting your child way more than what us as fathers can even imagine. Like it is so important for both parents to be in a child's life full time that it's not even funny. Like it causes so many problems with them as a person growing up and not getting both types of love from mom and dad. And I feel like a lot of these moms don't understand that. Some of them do, but it's not about us as a parent. It's really about the child. Like it's not about me as a dad or her as a mom. It's about both parents doing what they need to do for the benefit of the child. Like that's the most important thing in that child's life.
And Rios, I want to jump on
board.
That's
a great segue, because I do want to get in to letting Rios tell his story too. But and because I know Adam has to go soon, and I want him to be able to at least jump in a little bit to try to help. But I just briefly want to know, Adam, like, are you close to getting like full court solidified visitation, or are you still fighting that?
So still fighting it. Right now we're trying the new approach is my mom, who is in a situation to do it, is going to file for grandparents' rights, grandparents' visitation. And so there's whatever paperwork, we just got that. We just sat down with advisors. There's a team called the legal team, and they meet locally down there where I'm from in Albany, Georgia. And we actually sat down with them ran through pretty much everything that I just told y'all, and they're like, okay, yeah, we can help. So that's the new avenue that we're trying. So I think my mom is filing that. She's supposed to let me know she's retired now, so she's a grandbaby. So it's just a great,
Well, that's cool that she went from kicking you out at 18 to helping you out to get your baby.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was looking back. It was all for the kick out because of my son's mom. So it's not crazy. She, we got to go back through that. But yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
have you heard of
now, another big lesson too that I learned in this whole thing is you can't be afraid to, because they're gonna attack.
Yeah.
Yes. You have to get on it first.
Exactly. You want them to be proactive and to not sit back and let stuff happen. Yep. Exactly, because it's gonna happen. But if you're prepared and you actually take action steps, you can actually save yourself a whole lot of time, a lot of headache, and get in front of the ball. But you're 19, 20, early 20s going through this crap. It is intimidating. It is. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's the entire court system that is built to destroy you. It's like you're a little creature going up against this giant that its sole purpose is to kill you.
Yeah.
And so it's intimidating, man. And but I've just learned you can't be afraid to jump in there. The information's out there. It's free. Like Ryan, good stuff about how I sent you links and whatnot. We brought this up.
We brought that up last week. The fact that, and a lot of guys don't know, because everybody in any court situation goes into it thinking, all right, I'm going to court, so I need to find a lawyer, and I'll go with a public defender. The truth of the matter is, if it's criminal, do what you got to do. Find a lawyer. You know what I mean? Get a public defender. That's fine if it's criminal. When you're talking about custody and kids, there is a self-help office in every court, and every court has a website. You can get what you need for free, and you can fill it out and drop it off for free right at the court. And that's what they don't tell anybody and what nobody understands. So we have these guys who go in, like yourself, Adam. You walk in thinking, oh, all right, I'm going to sit in front of a judge with this girl and my kid, and we're going to talk about this. And you show up, and she's got a fucking lawyer.
Exactly. With an agenda.
Because, and her lawyer already
the worst
has
possible person possible.
Yeah, her lawyer already has in his or her mind, I'm going to get paid for this, so I'm going to say whatever she's telling me to this judge, and I'm going to represent my client. I'm going to fuck this guy up because at the end of the day, he's standing here alone, not expecting it, and he has no real defense.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to make sure guys figure out is you don't have to have a lawyer. You just need to be prepared.
Right.
Walk in that courtroom.
I will
go work for yourself. And
the person of my paperwork told me is that if you don't have a lawyer, you are held at the same, like they went to college for this. You as a dad are held as that college degree person that passed the bar association test or whatever. And so I mean it is almost better to get a lawyer if you can. Well, it definitely is better to get a lawyer if you can, because you're going to be held at the same level as that lawyer that's trying to do.
But that's why I say if you're prepared.
Yeah.
And we've talked for every past episode. We always say, like Will said it the best. You keep it dry, and you stick to the reason why you're in that courtroom. There's nothing that a lawyer can do, because a lawyer is going to try to use those stories to make you look bad and manipulate the judge to think you're this terrible person. But if you stick to your facts and what's actually going on and the reason why you're in that courtroom, you always bring it back. If they try to say you're a drug addict, you bring it back to why you're there. They have no proof of it, and none of it matters. It's when dudes get there and they get nervous in front of this lawyer, and they're like, "Oh shit!" Then that lawyer starts talking, and you're not ready for it.
And they get you
then
talking.
you get fucked, and then you look like the picture that they painted of you.
Hey,
exactly.
This is Will. I want to jump in real quick and give a prime example of how this bullshit happens. And unless you go through the fire or get really hip to it, it's easy to get run over on what we're saying. So I had a small claims trial in Washington, D.C. I live in Virginia, 2 different jurisdictions. So a lot of the craziness Adam's talking about, I'm experiencing still. So I had a small claims case because baby mom took a bat to my car. What I should have done is had her arrested for criminal charges, property damage, because it was over $1,600. I was trying to recoup my money, so I got a small claims case. She's a lawyer herself, right? But she's been losing multiple cases we've had. So we go into the small claims case. So the first time we go up there, the judge says, "Oh, I'm going to put you all to mediation." At mediation, I said, "Here's the damage." And on record, in another case, she said she did do the damage and she agreed to pay for it. And I had the actual transcript. So I just shut my mouth and I said, "This is what I have right here. You agreed to pay for it." I show it to her lawyer. Now, I just want to use this as an example of the games the lawyers will play. So what happened was we go to the actual hearing back in July. At that time, we literally waited around all day, 7 hours of my life. While the judge
I just missed a minute.
Just missed a minute. Okay, I'll catch you up to it real quick. So I'm talking about the games lawyers play, and if you represent yourself solo. You still there? Yeah, you still there?
Speakers down or move your mic away a little bit. That might help.
You guys there? Eric, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man.
Okay. So technical difficulty. So real quick. So long story short was this. Small claims cases, black and white. When you go into small claims, it's about money. That's what it's about. And you have to do 2 things. With all these scenarios and accusations, court is based on what's called a valid claim. A valid claim, you have to have what's called fact elements. So some supporting documentation, just like Adam was saying, you have to bring a police report, something tangible that is factual, a medical record. You hear me now? So, real quick.
Keep going.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
So, long story short, it came down to her attorney tried to postpone the date multiple times. The clerk would come to me and say, "Mr. Mosini, would you be open to accepting December 3rd as a new court date?" I said, "December 3rd? I want to hear I'm here right now. I can hear the judge right now." And she would walk away. Then he would come up and he would say, "Mr. Mosini, the court is really busy today. How about we go and push this to the next available opening in 2018? I was like, "Are you..." And I just told him straight to his face. I said, "Listen, I'm a single father. This is a simple case. I want to wait to hear what the judge says." So my point in emphasizing that is this. There's a lot of tactics these lawyers play, and it really comes down to intimidation. And if you're by yourself, they think they can intimidate you. However, if you're standing on that firm ground, which Eric was emphasizing, you're not going to be intimidated. Because it's so robotic. You know why you're here. You know what you're asking for. And any of the noise that they're trying to get you to compromise with, you just say, "No, I want to go to the judge, present my case to the judge." But having that confidence in what you're there for is really paramount. It's a psychological preparation you have to make to yourself. And because you're really tense and nervous. I'm getting in front of a judge. What if they say this? What if they say that? And the number one point that we emphasize for men is that it's so easy to get pissed off at what they say. They could be lying about you or some shit. And if you trigger and get angry, that's it. Your whole case is done if you get angry. You have to swallow it and not register it. And just what Eric said, I am here because of X, Y, and Z. And you cannot acknowledge bullshit at all. No. I was telling Eric, I've been to 15 court cases just this year alone. I've had to sit and watch hours and hours of other cases in front of me. And I tell you what, the judges profile you the minute you come in. The minute you come in, the judges are profiling you. Yes, if you're white, if you're black, if you're not dressed up right, the judges are profiling you. But supremely, the biggest thing they're going to judge you on is the minute you open your mouth and start presenting your side of the story. If you come off disorganized and out, you don't know what you're talking about, emotional, you're going down the drain. However, if you're very organized, on point, not emotional, they're going to look you in a completely different light, in a case where you could be dressed however, but if you're well organized in your dialogue, they're going to look at you in such a different light. So I wanted to point that out in the sense of psychological preparation for going into court, and you have to have control of your emotions. That's something I really didn't understand. Talking with Adam over the past of the years I've known him, I want to salute you, Adam, man, because you are a G going through the scenarios you've gone through, man, and your perspective on interpreting baby mom's outlook, man. I know we used to talk about that often, man, and it's really deep. It's really deep getting into that reverse psychology, but I found it empowering.
To me with Adam's story, what's nuts to me is with Adam's story is our children are the same age. My daughter was born in July of 2008. His was, May of 2008 or March of 2008. They're the same age. And
hearing the stories, knowing your story too, man, I was like, I've heard this story so many times. Like Eric's baby mom right here.
I'm 32 now. You know, we've got this age difference between us, but we went through the same shit in the same. And that's why, like, the whole time he was talking, generally I have a lot of shit to jump in and say, but the whole time he was talking, I was like, hey, I've already addressed this. I've already talked about this. Someone else who's having to do the same thing, do the same. And it's fucked up because, like he said, he was young. I was young. I'm still young. I wasn't anything. Now, I did get a good deal because I had a home, was supposed to be on with a point. He basically told me to do everything. That's what guided me in my way to help Will out, and that's why I started doing this podcast. But what I want to do is now get a good understanding of what Adam went through. Rios, let me know, because are you going through it right now, right?
Yeah. So
tell us briefly, like, and where you're at in the system at this point.
So my situation, I had somebody here. I knew her in Germany, so, you know, actually she was my ex in Germany like 10 years ago. She's in that, and we kept in contact, you know, over the years or whatever. And so she calls me one day and was like, oh, I want to move out there. I was like, all right. So she ends up coming, and I told her, you move out here as my friend, like, not trying to be in a relationship. So next thing I know, we're in a relationship. And, you know, my older daughter, who's going to be 11 in November, and I told her, you know, like, because at this time I'm working nights, 12-hour shifts, going to school full time, and working full time. So I tell her, like, look, if we go pick up my daughter, like, if you really don't want to help with that, then I got so much on my plate, like, she could stay where she's at with her mom for right now. And when I get done with school, I'll go get her. She's, oh, no, you know, get her, I'll help you out with her. Now, as soon as things went south with our relationship, now it's like, oh, well, I don't want to help you with your daughter or this and that. And she was pregnant when we went to go pick up my daughter. Okay. So I'm guessing her expectation was that together, no matter what. But, you know, when it comes down to, like, we ended up breaking up, and she told me after she had her baby, or had our child, she's like, you know, she told me once, oh, she got mad, oh, you could kiss your baby goodbye. And I'm like, hold on a second. Like, we're back together at this point. So I'm like, I don't play these type of games. Like, I'm already struggling to stay in my oldest daughter's life. So that night it was like, yeah, I can't be with you. I can't be with somebody that's going to try to use my child like that against me, you know? And so she would, both my kids were going to the same daycare and stuff over the summer, and she would told me she wasn't going to help me with my oldest daughter anymore. So she would go pick up our baby and leave my oldest daughter there and tell me, oh, well, your daughter has abandonment issues. And it's like, yo, you're abandoning her. Like, she sees you come in and pick up her sister, and you just leave her there. Like, oh, your dad will be back later to pick you up. You know, like, in my head, it's what kind of a, not just a mother, but like being a mother yourself kind of made it worse for me. But what kind of a person is going to pick up one child and leave the other one there? Like,
yeah. Hold on, because okay. And I briefly have to ask, because I heard you say this a girl you know from Germany. Do I know this girl?
I don't know. Did you know Elizabeth Nauer?
Okay, I don't know this girl. All right.
That was her prince, but yeah.
By the way, we lost. I just want to let y'all know we lost Adam. He went into the studio. He lost his signal. He dropped off, but that's fine. We're gonna still keep going. So you have two with the same girl?
No.
She's taking care of one?
Two with two different mothers. One of them, my oldest daughter, lives in Tennessee with her mom, and my youngest lives here between me and her mom. Like, I get to see her every week. You know, like 1 week I'll get her Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, drop her off Saturday morning. The next week I get her Thursday, Friday, Saturday, drop her off Sunday at 4 o'clock. Okay.
So you have like a mixed custody agreement?
No. This is why I went to court.
Like something you guys are just doing personally?
Yes. This is something that she told me this is how it's going to work. And I'm like, yo, I don't agree with that. And she's like, I don't really care if you agree with it or not. This is how it's going to work. I'm the custodial parent. And I'm like, yo, you're not the custodial parent because we haven't gone to court, and it's 50-50 as far as anybody else is concerned, except for you.
Okay, stop real fast. Have you guys actually gone to court yet?
We haven't had a court hearing, but I filed paperwork. Okay, so after the third or fourth time.
Hold on. I don't want you to get too ahead of yourself because, like I said, you're going through it now.
Yeah.
So, the agreement you guys have, do you have anything in writing, or are you keeping track of when you're seeing your kid?
I have. She texts me the schedule, so I have that.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, and I do. We split daycare costs, so I pay half of that. So you know that's considered child support, basically.
Dude, Rios, I want to tell you right now, and this is what I was telling Will when we started the episode. Before I got you on the line, I believe I told him, Rios is about to go into it. We want to make sure we have a victory.
Oh yeah, and
so you need to not only get that text that she agreed to those days and print it out, but anything else in writing to print out, so that when you go to court, and you filed first, right?
Yeah, I'm the petitioner. Yep.
Oh my God, you're so fucking awesome.
You're ahead of the game, bro. You're ahead of the game. But hey, real quick.
I'm so happy right now.
This was going to happen. If you went into court right now, I'm talking about right now, even as the petitioner, if you went right now, most courts, how old's the child?
15 months.
15. Okay, this is exactly what's going to happen. If you go in right now with a child under 2 years old, 99% of the time, the child's with the mom, right? The judge is going to order custody, right? And there's no such thing. Me and Eric have gone into as 50-50. They say joint, but there's 31 days in a month. So it's going to be like a 60-40, 70-30 situation. But here's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
The judge is going to order custody based on the current situation. So if you go in, you're like, I see my kid once a week right now. That's what the judge is going to order. It's no if, and, or but.
Yeah.
The judge is going to be like, nope,
Yeah.
sorry, fuck you. It's right now. It's like, but. There's no but. So this is what
you need to do, Rios, is
up your time with your child.
That text out.
You
need to print the text out of what she's already agreed to.
Which is what? Rios,
you need to print the text out of the agreement with the daycare so that you can prove that you are already paying money. So
I send money orders every week, so I have proof of every single week.
You're on it, Rios. You're on it, dude. You're on it, bro.
You're on it, dude. You are so on it. This is gonna work out so good for you. So like, the best that I know of, which is actually what I got, is I have Thursday through Friday every week, or Thursday through Sunday every week, except the first weekend of each month. And then because my ex-wife didn't show up to the final court hearing, I get a full month in the summer to myself.
That's not the best scenario, Eric, by the way. That's not the best.
Yeah.
Primary custody is the best.
Well, oh no, there's better. Yeah, there's better, but the best I know of. The best of anybody I know, I've gotten the best. But with what you've got already, you need to make sure you got that paperwork showing that she sent you, this is what I want, so that when you are in court, you've got proof to where if she tries to flip it on you, shut up. If she tries to flip it on you and say, well, no, that's not what I want for my kid, you can go back to being dry, like we said earlier. You can go back to why you're there. And you can say, well, Judge, here that I have that shows a text message from her to me that says, this is how she would like it to work out on her days.
And, bro, here's the thing about the text messages.
And then I have this other text message that shows that we're sharing the cost of daycare. And then I have these receipts of all these money orders I've been sending her to take care of. The judge is going to take all of that and shit down her mouth.
Well, time out. This is how they do it. They
nothing to stand on. And this is lovely.
They show whatever you bring to court, Rios, is like this. Say it's even if there's a lawyer there and they have a stack of paperwork. So whatever, two people are at a courtroom. There's a claim, whatever, any kind of claim. So you have a claim for this, a claim for that. Anything that's going to be presented to the judge, you can't just show the judge anything you want. It has to be what the word is called validated by the other party. Now, even if you don't have a lawyer, that means, let's say me and you are going to court for something, some small claim situation. I have a stack of paperwork. The judge would say, show Rios that paperwork, right? And you could say, Your Honor, I object. That's the actual word. I object, but give a reasoning. I don't recognize this. I mean, I've been on the stand, and they showed me a check that I recognized. It had my name, my address, and the lawyer kept trying to get me to validate it, but they do it so slick. He said, whose name is on this? And I didn't validate it. In other words, I didn't just say, oh yeah, this is mine, I did this. I never said that. And the judge, all I said was I recognize names and numbers on here. And the judge got fed up with him trying to pressure me. He said, okay, he said he doesn't recognize it. End of story. So I want to give you that tip. But for the text messages, because I've had to bring a lot of text messages, make sure you change her name in your phone to her first. In the first name, put her first and last name and put the phone number. So that's what I do with my baby mom. It's her first and last name in the name, not separately. So when you print out the text message, it all prints out. It says the first and last name and the number. Because then, I've been under the grill from a judge who said, this is just a number. How do I know whose number this is, right? And then I got hip to it and I changed it. Now I'm in court and the judge is like, yep. And I also I printed out my AT&T statement, which showed that number as well, how many times I call it. I'm telling you, just like Eric said, this paper trail is your victory. But let's go back to the scenario. What did she text you about the current schedule right now? In other words, how many overnights do you get with your daughter or your child?
Yeah.
Overnights a week.
I get 3 every week.
That's awesome, man.
Okay.
This
So I get
You're close to the 50-50 situation.
That's my
already.
situation.
Right, I
Rios.
am.
That's my situation. Yeah.
But my thing is, like, it's close, like, because there are lawyers involved. Because I filed the paperwork. Like, she told me this is when I had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, drop her off Saturday morning. So I had to drop her off at like 6:30 in the morning. So she told me this Thursday night. I think I want to move to Los Angeles, and you should move to Las Vegas because it's closer than Colorado Springs.
You get the hell out of here.
My
man.
support system, my support system is my mom and my sister, and in Los Angeles. Your support system is your brother in Las Vegas, and I'm like you know very well that I have more than just my brother and part of my support system, and it's your dad who lives in Germany is a part of your support system. But I want to say what she wants so that she can get what she wants. So I basically was like,
let me real quick, just on my personal level. You want to get this court shit situated and get the specific order as soon as you can, because with my situation, my kid's mom wanted to move my daughter over the mountain, an hour to LA. This is an hour and a half drive over the mountain. She wanted to move her over there to go to school, live, all that shit.
mm-hmm.
Well, because I got Thursday through Sunday, my daughter has to be in school.
Mm-hmm.
And having to be in school, I have to be able to pick her up on my Thursday and take her to school on Friday.
Right.
And that's why your situation with your days already is so important for you to make sure that you show them this is what we've already agreed to. We're already good with this. That way, if she does decide to take your kid to LA, she's going to be in violation. Because if you have a weekday where you have to have your child and you have to be able to bring that child to school the next day, she can't go out of state. Because she will violate and you will get full custody.
Rio, she's trying to pull a slick one on you. She's trying to pull this slick one on you, man. If she leaves before if she leaves before the court day, bro, good. It's like fuck you, bro. Because right now the judge will, if she leaves before the court date, you go to court, the judge's gonna say, what's the situation? Oh, she has the child primarily amount of the time. Oh, nothing we can do here. When is your court date, by the way, bro? How many months away?
I think 2.
Dude, so
2 months?
someone's
So when I filed, like in bold letters, it says you cannot leave the state. This is why I filed.
Oh, nice.
She told me on Thursday I wanted to move. She had just got then I started thinking man, did she really get a new job or did she just quit her old job and she's gonna move this weekend? So I talked to my brother. He was like, yo, file the paperwork tomorrow. So I already had the court documents that I needed for months because I was ready, but I was like, man, do I really want to do this or not?
Yes.
Talked to my brother. He's like, file this paperwork. So I filed the paperwork Friday. Then I find out, oh, you got to have her served. I'm like, oh shit. So I'm sitting in the court parking lot calling different process servers like, I need to get this done before I drop her off Saturday. So finally found one, and she was so cool and worked with me, and it's like, I'll make sure she's served before you drop her off. What time you drop her off?
Why didn't you have Jeremy do it?
Because I didn't want anybody that knew her to do that. I didn't.
Oh, all right.
So
I served Joe's baby mom. That's why I was asking, because it was enjoyable. So
I asked Adam to serve my baby's mom. He was like, "No, sir." He didn't understand.
Yeah. So what happened was, I dropped her off at 6:30 in the morning. Process server dropped the paperwork off at 6:20. It's like, well, I figured if I knocked on the door, she thought it was going to be you bringing your child. So I knew she was going to answer the door. She's pissed off.
Right.
Good luck with that, you know. And so I dropped outside smoking a cigarette, drop her off, and, you know, had to go to work. And, you know, we were supposed to talk about different arrangements as far as not visitation, but I guess it is visitation, but seeing who had what days and times and stuff with our daughter. So on Sunday, she was like, well, you got the courts involved, and now nothing's changing until the judge says what happens. So the issue here is that with this state, they can't make the mother stay here. If she says she wants to leave, they can't make her stay here. But what they can do is say, okay, you
plan.
Huh?
That's what I was telling you. They can't make her stay there, but
Right.
once you have that plan by the court, they can enforce the plan. That's why I was saying to you, if you get those 2 weekdays, you have to be able to get, and I understand your kid's not in school yet, but you have to be able to pick up the child and have your time.
Rios, it's called abduction.
You can't do that because she moved.
Correct.
Yeah.
If she goes to LA
and you don't have accessibility to fulfill your parenting plan, that's when you're going to be able to go back to court, and the court's going to matter where she is.
Right.
Kid needs to come back and address this. And if you can't come back, Dad, congratulate full custody.
Right.
Actually, it could be an emergency hearing
Because the
too.
motion was filed in Colorado.
It could be a Rios. It could be an emergency hearing. If she does not show up with your child, you can, and you have an order in place, you can go and request an emergency hearing.
Right.
If it states the date and time. I've been in this scenario so many times. The unfortunate thing about my parenting plan is that it doesn't state the specific time and the location. So that was my mistake, man. I did not include a specific time and a specific schedule, actually, man. That's why my baby's mom has played so many games. Yeah, she's played so many games about pickups and drop-offs.
And you want to make it a police station that's convenient, and like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, whatever works for you with your work schedule.
Has she gotten violent
at all?
And I told
Will that, and he didn't get it, and that fucks with him now. If you can get that too,
has she been violent with you?
Thought that she has to go do it.
Has she been violent?
I dropped her off at her house.
Well, Rios.
Well,
if there's been no violence,
actually,
don't change that. If there's been no violence, no threats of violence, don't change that. You have to be slick as butter, man. You have to handle her psychologically by domination. How do I mean by that? I don't mean go beat or anything. I mean by playing smooth like a fox, man. That's how you win this. If there's been no violence, if there's been absolutely no violence and no threats,
the same way you got in her pussy, you need to get into having a kid.
Yeah. Boom. Eric said it.
Yeah. Like there are text messages of where I guess I did put my hands on her, but it's not like
fuck.
There is, but fuck. I don't know if she has those text messages. I have those text messages.
Expect her to have them then. Expect her to have them.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, I expect the worst, man.
And so the thing is, though, is every time I talk to somebody, is there any police record? Like, is there any charges? Like, no, there isn't.
Whoa. Time out, Rios. Time out. You scaring me. You scaring me right now. You said there's been no domestic violence, and then you said whenever you talk to anybody, who are you talking about? Who's anybody that you're talking to about police reports?
I talked to. I did a domestic violence evaluation yesterday, voluntarily, and she
Wait,
asked,
is this something against you or against her? Like, was she violent or
it was on my behalf, but there are instances on both behalf.
Oh, so you're in a fuck situation. You're in a fuck situation. You got to do the police station, bro. You have to do the police station then.
Yeah. Make the police station the meeting point.
You can't fuck around, Rios.
Time.
If she puts even a temporary, they call it temporary protective order. That means restraining order on you, bro. This is fucking game over for you. You're gonna be really crashing out. Make it the police station, bro. Still be cool, calm, and collected. You have to make the police station. This domestic violence getting brought up. Fuck that, dude. Step out. Make it the police station. So there's no games. And actually, unfortunately, even if you make it out of police station, there's still fucking games. If you absolutely can, have a witness with you.
Cameras at every police station, so they'll have a record if she does something to you.
And
don't ever do anything to her.
Never.
Oh, I know. And like the only time the police were called was something that I did wrong. Okay, but I did this wrong, and she choked me, and I didn't retaliate or nothing. Like, this was one of those times that she told me, "Oh well."
Cheating?
No. What she told me was, if you don't want to do what I tell you, then you just won't see our daughter at all.
Get the fuck out of here. That's what all these bitches say. All these bitches say that, and if they don't say that, that's what they think. That's what 90% of these bitches thinking.
Yeah,
their kid is not their child that they love and care for. Their child is a tool to fuck with this man.
Hence, did we just hear Adam?
This man who doesn't want to be with them anymore, but just wants to be a father. That's their tool.
Every single one of us.
Every day.
Yep.
I'm going through it now.
But that's it. You know, I went in. She went and grabbed her phone, and I told her, like, look, if I'm there, then I want to give her a hug and a kiss. And so after she choked me, she went to go get her phone. I just kind of was looking at her while her hands were on my throat. Like,
time out, Rio. She physically choked you? She physically choked you?
Yeah, she had her hands around my throat.
When was this? When was this? Tell me, when was this? How many months ago?
It was
when?
December.
It was last December. Dog, you could have.
Yeah.
You could have filed filed a restraining order at that time.
You could have filed a restraining order on that day,
and you could have
you would have had your kid.
You would have had your kid. You would have had your kid.
I could. I didn't. And the cop on the phone, and he asked me. I told him the story, and he asked me if I did want to press charge. I just don't want my child taken out of my life. No, it's not about that point. It wasn't about fuck her over or, fuck myself over. It was being able to be, like I told Adam, like that.
You were doing the mature thing.
Your opportunity to take advantage of a girl.
Yeah.
Eric's absolutely right, man. I missed it.
100% on it.
I've missed it 3 times.
You were becoming a man, and you missed an opportunity to take advantage of having your kid. Yeah. And that's like that, and that's why I wanted to get you on here to be able to talk to you, because I know you're going through it now, so we can try to help you to get past some of those rough spots that we missed. Right. But one of the main things that my homie told me was, let her do something, and then you file your restraining order. Once you file your restraining order, the police will bring you your kid, which is exactly what happened. Once my restraining order was in place, I went with a police officer to the school. The cop got my daughter. He brought her to me. And then I went and I filed my divorce paperwork. And I had my daughter until my court date.
Oh, shit.
And that is one thing I need to stress to all guys, because most guys that get in these situations that we're talking about don't have a woman, they have a girl. And all girls overreact and act stupid and do dumb shit, and they are not worried about their kid trying to control this either boy
Oh,
who doesn't
man.
know or a man who's trying to do the right thing. And from
Yeah.
what I'm getting from you, what I know of Will, and what of my situation, we were all men trying to do the right thing. And that's why if you can get a girl pinned in a situation, it's just like a playground. You get a girl pinned in a situation, she freaks out and don't know what to do, and she hangs herself. And that's one of our main mantras. Let her hang herself. Let her be the reason why she fucked up. I just briefly, because I forgot at the beginning of the show, because I was just so excited to get the episode going, just got my paper, fellas, that my baby's mom, ex-wife, signed off on the new child support. I now, instead of $188 a month, I now only pay $104 a month. She fucked up for something extra that wasn't there. They redid all the dates and the overnights. That's why we was talking about overnights, because that's the important part, is when the child stays with you. And once they redid all their calculations, I almost got $20 a month.
Damn.
But that would have been nice. But she fucked up in her calculation. We fixed it, and it's $104 a month, but it shows my daughter's mom not having a job. She now has. Now I gotta get back to court and file some paperwork, because the child support enforcement department only allows a year. Mm-hmm. So instead of waiting for a whole year, I'm going to take the paperwork I just got, and I'm going to go read and go before a judge and show actually is working down even more from there. But that you were able to question, what I want to just make sure is you stay ahead of that situation. So you,
that's what I'm saying. I like all these domestic violence evaluations is to stay ahead. That way, if they bring it up, he voluntarily did this domestic violence evaluation.
Yeah.
Why would he do that? Do the most that he can for his child, and as far as trying to take my child, and like I was telling Adam earlier, like it's so important. Look at it as she's trying to take life, or take my child out of my life. I look at it as she's taking the father out of our child's life. Like, how can you say that that's in the best interest of the child for her to grow up with her grandmother and sister in Los Angeles and be away from her father, who she has is called a primary relationship. So she has a primary relationship with myself, and she has a primary relationship with her mom. So it's not just one-sided, and I say I see her 3 days a week, or she stays at my house 3 days a week. But the fucked up thing is, when I have her over the weekend, there's a 5-day gap that I told her, look, this is really affecting our child. Like, every time I pick her up after not seeing me for 5 days, like, I notice how she acts different. She's really excited. It's like, yo, where have you been? Like, I haven't seen you in forever. It feels like forever. It feels like I haven't seen her for a week, and it damn near is almost a week. One thing somebody told me is that for a child, I believe they said 2 years old or under 2. So if that child doesn't see their parent for 6 months of their life, it's just like seeing somebody for 10 years.
Well, I can speak off of my personal situation, and like my daughter's 9 years old. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But me personally, I fought to not necessarily be with her mom, but at least live in the same home. Mom and dad was a normal thing. After about year, I want to say 6 or 7 at the latest, was when I realized, okay, I can't be around this woman anymore. And it was affecting my daughter in a way that no child should have been affected, to where the point that it is now, where we actually have the separation, the custody, and all that. Right. My daughter, and it kills me when it's my day with my daughter, super excited, ready to go, do whatever we do, have fun, go out and do things, hike, amusement parks, whatever we do. You know what I mean? And then when, like today, it happened again, every Sunday, it happened. I tell her, hey, baby, we got to go. I got to take you to your mom at such and such time. And there's a feeling of, I don't want to go.
Yeah.
And psychologically, just being me and knowing how brain works, it's not something that you're doing wrong. It's something that's being done wrong when you're not around. Basically, baby mom's talking shit about you, and that is what gets into the kid's head, to where when they're around you and they see what you do for them and they know how much they love being around you, when it's time to go and be away from you, they don't see a situation where who's supposed to just love them and take care of them is just talking shit. The man that does the same thing.
Right.
But not cooking dinner saying, oh, your mom's a whore and slut, and you know what I mean? Like, we're not bad-mouthing the mom when the kid's with us, but we're being bad-mouthed.
Right.
And that's a problem that is constant. I guarantee Will's kid is going through it. I know my daughter's going through it. And I can guarantee your daughter is going through it. Now, I do have a question for you, though, because you mentioned that this is your younger daughter. What's the deal with the older one?
Situation with the older one is and see, with both of them, I took myself to court, okay? The second, my youngest is because her mom told me she was going to take her away. The oldest is because her mom told me 3-4 times that, oh, she's not yours. Now, whether she's mad or the case, which is probably the case, she's just mad and wants to say something to hurt me. But so I went and got a paternity test, and then after that, got to pay child support.
So you did prove that it is your child?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, had you started the court with her?
Oh, that was in 2008 when I started the whole process with that. And so at first I started $2,000 in arrears and was paying $750 a month.
Wow.
Yeah. So really I was paying $850 a month because I had $100 in arrears every month. Which, you know, I was working my ass off. Like, I ended up losing my job. And even you're court ordered to pay, they can't adjust anything until you have another job to adjust something from.
And so, if you're not paying, you go to jail because you don't have a job.
Right. And that's when I called the court, they're like, look, how much you owe or how much you're making or whatever, if you send $20 a month, you're making an effort and you're good on our behalf. Like, yeah, you're seeing, but you're making an effort, and that's really what. So,
do you have custody with this kid? Do you get to see the other kid, or?
Well, she's in when she starts school. a little bit. So she's a German citizen because mom got into it when I had my plane ticket ready to go to Germany and see her be born and everything. We got into it. I was told, you might as well cancel your ticket. I'm going to make sure you're not allowed to go in the hospital. Now, my dad, his mom, my sister, told the people at the front desk to the hospital that my dad was not allowed to go into the hospital and see his grandson.
Oh, wow.
Okay? Did you say for what?
I said, oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. So I wasn't going to put myself in a situation to where I'm in another country all alone and could possibly, because of things that happened when I was in Germany, I really wasn't allowed to be on the post where her dad lived. So that's where I was going to stay when I went there. And she was like, I'll let him know you're not allowed to be here. I'll make sure my dad won't let you in the house. You know,
Wow.
basically, I would have been stranded in Germany by myself. And I'm like, yeah. So she's like, you might as well just cancel your ticket. So I listened like a dumbass and canceled my ticket. At the time, I thought it was the right thing to do because, like I said, I wasn't trying to get stranded in another country by myself.
Yeah.
So long story short, I'm not on her birth certificate. Her German, because she was born, her mom's a German citizen. So German citizen, has a child on German territory. American dad's not there to sign the birth certificate. My daughter's a German citizen. And I've been, like I said, she's going to be 11. So for the past 10 years, I've been trying to figure out how to get her dual citizenship because it's even scarier right now that we got Trump as our president. And
right.
I like, so in my head, worst case scenario, Trump is in office for the next 8 years. Okay. Now I pray that doesn't happen, but
that won't happen. But
if it does, my daughter's going to be 18 while he's still in office. If she turns 18 when he's still in office, and even if he's not in office, if she's 18 and doesn't have that dual citizenship, like, yo, you got to go. You have to leave this country because you're not a citizen here.
Wow.
So that's what scares me. And I've been talking to her mom. I've been talk to German consulates and all types of stuff and trying to figure out how to get this done for the past 10 years, 11 years. So I'm still working on that. But
yeah, Will was saying he's got a homie who his homie's battling a custody thing between Canada and the U.S. I can only imagine all the shit you have to go through between Germany and the U.S.
Yeah. So when she was getting ready to go to school, I have all the court documents to get her in school, even though she doesn't have a social security number, because that's something they need when they start school and everything.
Yeah.
So my mom went to Texas, picked her up, brought her here, and I got her into school. Halfway through, her mom's like, I want her back. So it was a Christmas break. When they had that break, I drove her to Tennessee because her mom lived in Tennessee. Drove her to Tennessee, drove back, and she finished kindergarten in Tennessee with her mom. First grade, she's like, oh, well, can she come back out there? So she comes back here for first grade, and I told her mom, like, we're not doing this leave in the middle of the school year. If she comes here and starts school here, she's staying here the whole year. So we agreed to that. She comes out here for first grade, goes back to Tennessee for second grade. She comes back here for third grade. I had her.
Right.
Yeah, I had her in school, did third grade. Third grade's over, and her mom was. I signed her up for summer school, and her mom's like, "Well, you need to bring her back." I'm like, "If you want her to come back, then you need to pay for her to come back." I take my time to drive 17 hours one way to Tennessee and drive back every single time. I always pay for her. I'm paying you child support the whole time that she's here living with me. So I'm paying child support for a child that I'm taking care of.
Wow.
And then on top of that, it's like she does so well in school here. But she has her mom. She has her younger sister who's a year and a half younger than her. She has two brothers that are younger by a few years younger than her.
Her mom's out there doing work.
Yeah, and now her mom is pregnant with twins. So
Jesus
she's about to,
Christ.
yeah. So out of all of these dudes, I'm the only one that is paying child support. So I used to get pissed off about it. Like, yo, you need to take their dads to court and make them pay child support, and you'd probably be really straight if you did that, because she's not working. But that's not the case. I'm the only one that pays child support regularly. And
yeah, because she probably got boys. She probably got pregnant by boys and no men, and she knows she can't get nothing from them. But she's trying to do the man thing, and she knows she can get you.
Yeah, and she does. And when she has issues with, like, for my daughter's 8th grade year, or when she was turning 8. Now I was gonna buy a plane ticket. I was looking at plane tickets, and I was gonna go out there for her 8th birthday to Tennessee. And like, I don't know, maybe a week or two before, like, my electricity is going to get turned off. And I'm like, all right. Daughter for her birthday. And so this is, like, you keep saying the difference between a man and the difference between a boy. Now, as a boy, I could have went out there for her birthday and saw her in the dark. As a man, is it my daughter for her birthday, or is it better for her lights to be on and I don't get to see her?
Yeah.
So I turn the lights on. You know what I'm saying? And like that really hurt a lot, that I planned to go see her for her birthday and wasn't able to do it. But she didn't go without.
Take her home.
Yeah. So on top of paying child support, I'm still turning the lights on. Even when I was in Alaska, working 3 jobs, and she's getting $850 a month, but she's getting paid every week because I have 3 jobs. Okay, so she doesn't have to wait the two weeks or the month to get that one check. Like, she's getting a check every single week, and I would still get phone calls like, "Oh, could you buy us Domino's? Like, didn't you just get $400 yesterday?" Like, yeah, but I'm trying to save it. Like, yo, that's money to take care of my child. Yeah, if she wants Domino's, buy her Domino's.
Support. Support the child.
Yeah. So already it's not only supporting my daughter, but supporting these other 3 children. So that's when, like I said, I used to get upset about it. And now, like, I'm proud that, yeah, you got all these other dudes and you had kids with them, but when you need something, who do you call? Me, because you know that I take care of my child. And me taking care of my child takes care of your whole family.
Yeah, because you're giving her 800 or
well, not anymore. Not anymore. Now, because I got in trouble for working too much at one of my jobs in Alaska, and it just so happened to be during the time when they were reevaluating my pay, my child support payments. So I got in trouble for working over 100 hours in 2 weeks, and they cut me down to 17 hours a week. So 34 hours in 2 weeks. And I'm like, yo, what are you doing? And they're like, well, basically, like, I told you can't work that much. Now we're regulating how much you work. So my phone hearing came up, and they're like, well, the minimum that you can pay is $230 a month. Plus you owe. Tell me
you got.
Plus you owe. Yeah. Plus you owe $100 in arrears. So the lowest that you can pay is $330 a month. I was like, I'll take that. So now that's what I pay, and it doesn't get changed until my case gets reevaluated, and I'm not gonna reevaluate that because I'm cool with that.
Congratulations, dude.
And so they're like, well, you're making $16 an hour. Like, this is how I got them to under. Like, you're making $16 an hour. I'm like, you're right, but I'm working 17 hours a week. Like that's under 40 hours in 2 weeks. So somebody that works somebody that makes $8 an hour but works 40 hours a week is working. They're making more than what I'm making. Like I don't care if $100 an hour and work 5 hours and in 2 weeks and I'm not making shit. Like somebody that works, you know. We'll just put you at the minimum. So I'm cool with that. But I mean, it
sounds like you definitely got to jump out in front of baby number 2.
Oh yeah, and that's what I'm doing.
Sounds like you're getting a good deal on baby number 1.
Yeah.
So definitely, it's out there getting a better end of the deal than most people that I know. But I'm sorry, man. I looked at the time. We're at over 2 hours, which I'm fine with and I appreciate, but I don't even know where Will is right now. Feels like he's making food or something. I have no idea. I don't know if that was you.
No, I'm supposed to be over my ex-roommate's house eating. He cooked.
All right. Well, dude, I want to say, like I said, I'm happy to hear that you're getting a better end of the deal than most guys that we talk to, and I'm super excited that we got to actually get you on to this episode, and we'll have you on further episodes because we're gonna have to do an update to find out what happens. But Will, are you still actually there? Oh damn! I guess take steps away.
No.
Well, hopefully, and it should still be recording because I know how he is. I know if he had to do something, he had to do something. But what I'm gonna do, man, I will get you tagged on the episode. We'll get it posted up, and please do me a favor. I know you said you were sharing the random rants, which is tight because that's a new one that I'm on, so that we can go racial, financial, whatever other stuff we got to get into. But I love having you on Man's Guide because literally Man's Guide is like, hey, I'm getting done wrong by the system. I'm trying to do the right thing by my child, and I just need some help to help somebody else. So it was awesome to have you. It was awesome to have Adam. I know he ain't on no more. But for sure, I'll hit you up probably just to give you a phone call because I like to call everybody after the fact.
Right.
And but I will as soon as it's up. I should have sent you a request to join our group on Facebook, so definitely do that.
All right.
And once the episode's up, you're already listening to some of the other ones. Subscribe to that channel for me, man. Share it with everybody on your page. Just share it out there. Get this episode out there. Get every episode out there so that we can continue to help people. But nothing but love. I appreciate you jumping on here with us. I'm going to go ahead and let you go, and I'm going to have to call Will on his actual phone and let him know that we're done because apparently he had to step away for something. But I'll hit you up, man, and we'll make sure we got everything going. But dude, I appreciate you for even just hitting me up and saying, hey, man, I think I could talk to you guys about this shit. So hope we helped you. I mean, I definitely know you helped some people out there too. So
I'll I mean, even between me and you, I'll keep you posted on what's going on, and I'll be more than happy to be on other episodes. And I will have to get back to episode number 1 and start listing from there. But you got to start from one, man. That's the genesis, and it just gets better and better. And today, I was impressed with Andrew's episode. Today, like every time we go through it, it's just like, God damn, like it's amazing to me how many dudes have to go through all this shit. Yeah.
And nobody knows until it's too late. And that's why we want to get out there first and help guys before, like maybe a guy who just got a girl pregnant, or maybe a guy who just got married and wants to have kids, but he's not sure. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want this podcast to ever sound like we're going after women, because one of me and Will's main points that we always go back to is, no matter what, it's your fault. Period.
Yeah.
It's your woman. You did what you did. You got a situation. But if we can get men to understand that early, then they should be able to understand they can avoid this situation and find the right woman. I know a lot of guys who are with women who they've been married to for a while. They have their kids. They're happy. And I applaud them. And I wish I was able to have that for me, just like my mom and dad. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
But it's not always the case. And if we can help to have that happen, then they don't have to go through what we. I appreciate you, Rios. Like I said, I'll hang up with you now. All right. The episode is available. I'll get you back on the channel so that we can get our numbers up and share every Facebook. So it'll be on your page too.
Yeah. All right.
All right, man. Well, much love, and I'll hit you up in a minute.
All right.